Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. And before I get into the reading, I just want to say my heartfelt condolences to people affected by the awful tragedy in Texas, the flooding, and particularly because it involves so many children. Really sending all my love and prayers to people affected by the tragedy. And so we are going to keep it light here today. Very cold day here where I am, and thunder and hail and very frightened Fluffy and very frightened Tess. So we're making our way through our day carefully, shall we say, because they're not the best of friends at this stage. So anyway, I have the Housewives Tarot on the tarot table for this first reading, and we're going to look at finances. We dip into parkour finances quite frequently here on this channel. It's something I like to do, and there have been 3 hints in the past few days that things might not be well with the parkour finances. Now, I did energy readings, 4th of July readings for Harry and Meghan. He looked super confident that everything was going to be fine financially. She looked like she was trying to convince herself that everything was going to be fine financially. So I have looked very recently at it. We're going to do a fuller reading now. Harry and Meghan, a compare and contrast between the two of them. We're going to look at how they feel about things financially, what they're up to each individually, and any luck, any success. So that's a little reading we're going to do, a little compare and contrast. There's the Chariot again. That's the card that Harry got for money in his 4th of July reading. Interesting that it's popped up again. Maybe it's rushing back to the UK to Pa and the umbrella of the royal family. But the speculation that things might not be well financially come from various quarters. One is a rather trivial comment from the Sidley twins that they think that Meghan isn't using as much copywritten music on her Instagram reels and stories. Might be because she can't afford the license fees. Second, I think, comes from Lady C, and she was saying that the fact that Meghan did not restock sufficiently her as ever products indicates that she's cash strapped, because the suppliers certainly have enough rosé wine and tea and jam and honey and all the rest of it. So it indicates that Meghan is the one who can't afford to really stock up sufficiently, and hence this all sold out in 45 minutes or 5 minutes because she really couldn't afford to buy much and white label the stuff. That's a second speculation or theory about money. The third is the most obvious, and that's the fact that Harry and Meghan have sacked their in-house communications team and resorted to using an external agency, the disruptors, and that's of course a huge way of saving money. This story comes from page 6 mostly, and it's quite an embarrassing investigation of their finances in an American newspaper. And of course also there is a rumour from, I think, Maureen Callahan, that's not only the comms team that got sacked for financial reasons, it's also household staff that have been let go, that they are struggling to maintain Mudslide Mansion. That's interesting. So that's where what we're basing this little reading on. Harry on the left, Meghan on the right. We're just going to see how they're doing, how they feel about things. Any panic going on there, or is it all good? Nothing to worry about. And let's remind you, it's tarot. Wonky tarot reading, and of course it is for fun and entertainment, and it is all my speculation, all my opinion. Just read energy, and disclaimer in the box below. That's the outcome for them jointly. I'll explain the reading. And this is the energy, the underlying energies. The Knight of Swords, it's the Fast and Furious card, swift action, quick thinking. I would say that it's having to scramble. I always get scrambling energy with the Knight of Swords, sort of rushing into something because you've got to. You don't get time to really think it through. You've got to act. You've got to be quick on your feet. You've got to respond. Very often to danger with that Knight of Swords. So I think that they've got strategies, they've got plans, and they might not be the best formed or the best thought through, but really just responding to crisis. That's what's coming through for me with that Knight of Swords as the underlying energy. So let's look at the actual situation down here. What's going on with Park of Finances? We've got the Hanged Man, which is limbo energy, which is not feeling that you have much authority or agency in your own life, much ability to do anything, feeling like you are out on a limb, that you're sort of displaced and it can't really function. And so that's not very positive energy when you're looking at a household and their finances. And you might also feel, it's giving me strong energy of cash flow problems because it's waiting. It's being in limbo, waiting for something to drop, maybe waiting to see what happens with Netflix. That contract's up for renewal or non-renewal very soon in the next couple of months. Deals, those kinds of things. It's that waiting, kicking around energy. It's uncomfortable energy. It's feeling really powerless. It's also feeling aggrieved. I often, with a Hanged Man, get the sense of self-pity and feeling that you are being unfairly punished for something that isn't really your own fault. So there's that as well, that they could feel that somehow they're being thwarted. Possibly, we know how they like to blame the royals, possibly the finger of blame being pointed in the direction of Pa or Prince William for their financial troubles. That's not a happy card financially, not at all. Let's look at Harry and his feelings about the situation. Is he confident? Is he worried? What's going on? I've got the Six of Wands in reverse. This is failure card, and it's slinking home with your tail between your legs, and that Chariot card that keeps popping up might literally be having to go back to Blighty. And there are rumors, they're popping up in various magazines, that Harry might be planning a solo trip back to the UK through the summer to have a heart-to-heart with Pa. And I would imagine that's because he's broke, or he's concerned about being broke. A Six of Wands slinking home, as I say, with your tail between your legs. A failure, and a very public failure as well with the Six of Wands, but being quite arrogant about it nevertheless. Still probably thinking you're special somehow and you deserve more than you're getting. The Hanged Man energy there for me. He's getting some treatment that he's really not going to like, and we're looking at that in the next reading. Spitting image back on YouTube this time. But let's look at Meghan. How's she feeling about the financial situation? Is she in a panic? Is she worried? We've got the Three of Cups in reverse. She might be drowning her sorrows there. We've seen a lot of day drinking, haven't we? And there's a day drinking card, if ever there is one, the Three of Cups in reverse. She might be putting on a brave front and look, I'm partying and having such a jolly time hanging out with all my friends, when actually really she's very worried. She might be taking to bed with all the rosé supplies, drinking them all, and really not dealing very well with what's going on. It also gives me the sense that she thought that her financial fortune would be made through friends and connections that she thought were on her side, that really liked her, and it's now in reverse. And maybe that's not quite working out. The Oprahs, the Tyler Perrys, the Ted Sarandoses of this world might be turning against her, and this might be concerning to her. So they both are concerned about this. Not huge worries, but I've got the Hanged Man at the heart of this reading. When I ask what is the state of their finances, Hanged Man, not good. Almost waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's the kind of energy that's coming. So what is Harry doing about financial situation? What's he doing to sort things out, to fix things? What's his plan? And I have the Two of Cups. The the Two of Cups in reverse is a separation card. It's a breakup card. Maybe it's one of the reasons why he wants to separate from her. We constantly get this push-pull energy between them. There's always one of them wanting to leave the relationship. For me, as an energy reader anyway, she might just be too expensive to maintain. And I think it's Lady C who said it's all his money that's going into, as ever, into buying all the product for the brand. It's not coming from Netflix, according to her. I think it's her. It's hard to know at this stage who says what. So many voices all talking at the same time in this community. But Two of Cups in reverse tells me that his solution might be to separate and no longer finance or bankroll her projects. And interestingly now, if they were to do that, she's the main income earner at this point. I'm sure that they've blown through Harry's money that he got for Spare. The Netflix money is probably long gone. And his trust fund, I'm sure, is very carefully protected from the claw. And probably any inheritance that he might have got when he turned 40, also protected from the claw. She might be the one that has to support him. How funny that would be. A girl can dream. So let's have a look at her and what's she doing to save the situation. It does look a bit perilous. Oh, we've got the devil. Pacts with the devil. Pacts with the devil. She might be trying very hard to partner with some quite unsavory types or do things that aren't necessarily viewed as the most wholesome. And I have to say, every time she launches a new product on As Ever, my head spins, because I think really in this current climate, this obesity epidemic that many countries are dealing with, many people are dealing with, the fat jabs that a lot of people are on now, including, there is speculation, Meghan herself, diabetes, things like that. A lot of people doing really extreme diets, either going, all raw or vegan or going all carnivore. What is with all the sugar and the alcohol that she is trying to sell to us? It seems very strange to me. And it could even be that in here, that she's trying to push things, this devil card, vices, it says on this card. And it is one of the things that the devil represents in tarot is vices, addictions, things that you should give up. And you can't for some reason. And sugar would be right in there, and alcohol. So pushing stuff that's really unhealthy. If she really had thought this through, she might have made some non-alcoholic bubbly or something like that. Very popular now. It's pretty grim, but it sells well. Or something that caters more to those extreme kinds of diets than have a crepe mix. Here's some runny jam, here's some honey. And then dip the berries, already sweet, dip the berries in the honey or the runny spread and put them on raw pancake batter. Ooh, yuck. So success, likelihood of success for the has-been. His plan seems to be more passive than proactive. It seems to be more get shot of her in this reading anyway. So success for the has-been and his financial ploy. I'm going to have to stretch across in my strange outfit. It's very cold and I have layers. King of Cups. That's back to Pa or Prince William. Help, I'm broke. And you need to save me. And you need to save me possibly even from her. That's where we are heading there with the King of Cups. It could also be, and I do just need to say this, Ted Sarandos often shows up as King of Cups for me. King of Wands, King of Cups in these readings. It could be that Harry has to do something like the Diana documentary that we've heard about recently for Netflix, where he goes around and he interviews people who, ordinary people who had dealings with her, and they tell their tales. That sort of thing. Could be. Just saying. How about herself? A success or not for her in her plan to flog toxic things, to us, or to at least to her squad? The Tower in reverse. The Tower is divorce card, is complete collapse, the failure of something that's very unstable. I think that her House of Cards is going to fall right down, even though that card is in reverse, which could mean preventing a total collapse just by the skin of her teeth. I don't think so. I'm getting that you make a pact with the devil and you reap the consequences over there with the Tower in reverse. It's looking bad for her. It's not looking bad for the has-been. Has-been gets saved as ever, but as ever doesn't get saved. Never ever. Oh, snoring. Much needed snoring after the traumatic day of hail and thunder and all the rest of it. That's Tess. So the Tower in reverse doesn't bode well for her. As I say, there's a slight hint that it might all come crashing down and then she starts to repair things, or she might just prevent a complete disintegration of her plans and schemes, her brand and whatnot. I'm veering more towards it all falls down spectacularly. Can't wait myself. And then for them jointly, outcome financially, they are still on paper anyway, a married couple on paper anyway. How's it going to go? We get the World. A successful ending to something, a completion of a cycle. So we are getting to the end of something. It could be the end of Netflix with that, with the World, and they're going to spin it as so successful, it was wonderful, and we're still going to do one-offs. Harry, King of Cups, because the first look theory is doing the rounds that there won't be a huge big multi-million-dollar deal for the has-beens and going forward, but they'll get the first look kind of a thing. Netflix will say, yeah, if you've got anything, show it to us first. So it'll be spun as a great success, but I'm also getting that there could be some sort of an end of the marriage with the Two of Cups in reverse and the Tower card on this table, and this waiting for something to happen, and they're going to portray it as we're going our separate ways, both very successful. Unfortunately, because of the royal families being so mean and cruel, we couldn't stay together, but has-been's going off successfully over there, and she is going off successfully somewhere else, despite this Tower card in reverse over here. Let's pretend that it's all fine. It doesn't look fine to me. Even though that is on the face of it a successful card, it's an ending successfully card. It's going to be spun. That's how I'm reading it anyway. And with this Knight of Swords here as the underlying energy, it tells me that there's a scramble on at the moment to try and fix this, or to try and rewrite things, and to try and make it look better than it actually is. So that's the reading. I'm going to have to stop the snoring before I start the next one. And thank you for watching, and hope to see you over on the next one.